So 60 years ago this week, the Universal Declaration of Human Rights was signed in Paris. As our speakers will remind us, the drive to put together this synthesis of what each human being is due, just by virtue of being human, came from the terrible experience of the debasement of the human person and the recognition that some things just could not or just had to be done by society if it were to be considered civilized and just. A landmark document, therefore, and rightly celebrated by events that have been taking place around the world throughout this year to mark this anniversary. Apart from our own conference, here in Rome, there has been a special event and concert on the anniversary itself, December the 10th, organized by the Pontifical Council of Justice and Peace, with the participation of the Pope. This year is also the 20th anniversary of the promulgation of the encyclical Mulieris Dignitatem, on the dignity and vocation of women, by John Paul II, full of profound reflections on the role of women in the Church and society in the light of Scripture and the Church's tradition. Putting together these two anniversaries encouraged us to celebrate them both by running a conference on women and human rights. Finally, it is almost a year to the day that we launched the book, Preaching Justice, Dominican Contributions to Social Ethics in the 20th Century. And there are copies of it outside. There's also information about it in your conference packs. In that book, we aim to synthesize the contributions of Dominican friars and also two lay Dominican men to the Church's social mission in the first full century influenced by the Church's social teaching, all with a view to helping us understand better the challenges of our own age. Today, during the roundtable discussion with which we will conclude this conference, we will launch a sister project to the first one, called Preaching Justice 2, focused on the contribution of Dominican sisters and lay women to the same issues. This moment of transition between the project on the men of the Dominican order to one on the women of the order further reinforced the idea of organizing a conference on women and human rights. Anniversaries are not just moments of celebration, but also moments for evaluation. In this case, we may ask questions like, has the declaration stood the test of time? Has it really had the effect that was hoped for in 1948? In the last 60 years, new and profound challenges to the spirit and letter of that document have emerged, like the widespread legalization of abortion and the emergence of ideas like Asian rights. What does the future hold then? What are the major dangers for the Human Rights Project in the next 60 years? The logo of our conference, which you can see above my head here, with the image of the woman's face, half covered and half visible, also tries to capture the ambivalence we may feel as we commemorate this anniversary, especially as it regards women. There is both a sense of joy and celebration, of something good and beautiful, and at the same time, a sense of foreboding, of shadow and darkness, of deep problems. In the main talks and the roundtable that follow, we will examine both the light and the darkness present in the human rights debate today and in the situation of women. In the spirit of our great Catholic intellectual tradition, we expect there to be a robust debate and a serious examination of the arguments made in the talks, all in a spirit of Christian charity. So without further ado, I turn to presenting our first speaker, who is beside me here. Professor Jana Harlem-Matlary is a rather special animal, we'd say in English. A Norwegian Catholic which is already something rather exotic. A mother of 4, a full-time occupation in itself, combined both with an academic career in political science and active political service in the foreign ministry as part of the Christian Democratic Party. The author of a serious tome on the question about which we have asked her to speak today, entitled When Might Becomes Right, Essays on Democracy and the Crisis of Rationality, also available outside if you're interested. But also of many other books in the areas of energy policy and security. The most recent, just coming out with Palgrave, is entitled European Union Security Dynamics in the New National Interest. She's also a member of the Pontifical Council of Justice and Peace and a consultant to the Pontifical Council on the Laity, and we could go on. I think it's already evident that she is a person more than qualified to speak on the issue we have asked her to address, which is the dangers for the human rights project emerging from Western politics. For these reasons, and for many more, I am very happy to be able to present to you Professor Jana Haaland-Matlari, who will address us under the title, Women's Human Rights, What Are They and What Do They Mean?